So we all watched the Super Bowl last night. And most people listening to us watched the Super Bowl last night. In fact, 113 million people watched the Super Bowl last night.
And then there were 5 million that popped on just to see Rihanna, apparently.
Well, there you go.
Because that had 118 million views during halftime.
All right. Well, if you watched the Super Bowl last night and you watched that game that featured the best defense from a pass rush perspective in the NFL, the sack leaders, the number that was so much greater than number 2 in the league from a sack perspective. When you watch that game and you watch that Eagles defensive line, you watch them be missing in action and just lacking the ability to make a big play. And then you flip it over to the other side and you watch the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line, and you're watching that and you're thinking, well, why are you bringing up the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line, Cody? Well, they were the top sack team in the AFC, number 2 in the NFL behind the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, they got to Hurts a couple of times yesterday, 2 sacks for them, but Jalen Hurts had a phenomenal day. He had an incredible day, one of the best games he's ever played, and he looked awesome. So watch the Super Bowl. You watched that last night, and how anybody who's a Texans fan or how anybody who's a draft prognosticator can sit here and tell me that the Houston Texans need to draft a defensive lineman with the number 2 overall pick instead of a quarterback, it's baffling to me. It really is. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts were making play after play after play in that game last night. Javon Hargrave wasn't making play after play after play. Hassan Reddick wasn't making play after play after play. Sweat wasn't making play after play after play. Brandon Graham, not him. Chris Jones, not him. You watch the Super Bowl, and those QBs play that way against those 2 defensive lines. You're sitting here telling me the next day you want the Texans to draft a defensive lineman? Come on, what are we doing? I even took it a step further because a lot of us believe DeMeco Ryans might be a pretty damn good head coach.
Yeah.
Okay, we considered him one of the best options in this coaching cycle. I went through the 13 playoff games that we just watched from the NFL playoffs this year, and I estimated the winner from those 13 games if they had the better head coach and or the better quarterback in that matchup. So 13 games. One of those games was decided solely because the team had the better quarterback. 4 of those games was decided because solely the team had the better head coach. 8 of the 13 matchups in the playoffs were decided because the winning team had the better head coach quarterback combo on the field. If you believe DeMeco Ryans has got something, get him a quarterback. And I know somebody's sitting there in their car or listening at their desk or at home, and they're saying, well, Bryce Young's not supposed to be Patrick Mahomes. C.J. Stroud's not supposed to be Jalen Hurts. You know who wasn't supposed to be Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes. He was the 10th overall pick.
Yeah, you think he would have fallen to number 10 if people knew how good he was going to be?
You know who damn sure wasn't supposed to be what Jalen Hurts did yesterday? Jalen Hurts, who was the 40th overall pick. Take a swing at quarterback. I don't know how people can watch these games in the playoffs and watch the successful teams in the National Football League and watch the successful quarterbacks and not want this team to take a swing at one of these quarterbacks. This is not drafting Kenny Pickett 3rd overall last year, like some people believed would be a massive reach. Okay? This is drafting highly rated, well thought of quarterbacks at the top of the draft when you don't have a quarterback. That's what this is. Take that swing if you're the Texans.
Well, devil's advocate here. What do Mahomes and Jalen Hurts both have in common in their playing careers?
Fill me in.
They both sat their first year. Mahomes sat every game besides one, and I think Hurts appeared in 4 games, maybe 3 starts at the end of his rookie season. So what if the Texans' plan is we're going to take the best player available at 2, and we're going to identify the quarterback we like at 12 or trade up a couple spots if we have to, take a guy, whether it's Richardson or Levis, and we're going to truly develop that guy for the year, and then they take over the following year.
Look, I don't love that plan, but if they don't leave the first round of the NFL draft with a quarterback, then there's no plan from the Houston Texans to get a quarterback. Like, if you don't end up with a quarterback, one of those 4 quarterbacks in the first round, like, when are you getting the quarterback? When is that quarterback showing up that is the future of the organization.
It might be next year. It might be in 2024 when they still have 2 first-round picks, and they might like that quarterback class better than this year. I would take 1 or 2. I've said it over and over again. I find it hard to believe that all year we hear about how Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are the consensus top guys, and then the Texans don't like either one. Now, I guess there's a scenario they only like one, and someone jumps in front of them, Chicago trades down, and Indy gets the quarterback you want, or Tennessee gets the quarterback you want. I guess that is a scenario here we're not thinking about. That's why it's frustrating Houston doesn't just have the first pick, so we know anyone they want they could get. But you just go through the different scenarios here. It is not a foregone conclusion. They definitely love the quarterback at 2 would be my point, because they might just love someone on their board and say, we're going with the best player available. We're not a quarterback away, and we're going to wait another year at quarterback, or we're going to try and get our guy at pick 12.
Yeah, I mean, those Chiefs and Eagles examples are just so different from where the Texans are right now. I mean, the Chiefs had a quarterback in Alex Smith who was obviously good enough to be a starter in this league, and the Chiefs were picking in the mid-20s. They had to trade all the way up to number 10 to get it. Philadelphia had a guy who almost won MVP as their quarterback, and Carson Wentz, who was a number 2 pick that they traded up for a couple of years before to go get him. The Eagles were also picking in the 20s that year, and Jalen Hurts was the 53rd overall pick. Cody, you were being too nice a couple of minutes ago. Like, different situations. I get what you're saying, Jake, and there's a way those conversations are happening right now at NRG, but, man, defense doesn't win championships anymore. You got to have a quarterback to have a shot to be successful. Forget just the Super Bowl. Like, to win games, you got to have something at the quarterback position, and the Texans don't have that. And they've got an avenue to potentially bring in a guy who can be that, who could potentially change the fortunes of their franchise. I mean, odds are, guys, Jalen Carter and Will Anderson aren't going to be J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt's one of the best defensive players in the history of the NFL. What did he win here? The Texans didn't win because of J.J. Watt didn't play well, didn't perform, and didn't hold his end of the bargain. They won because they didn't win because they never had a quarterback, and he didn't win because they never had a quarterback. Like, you've got no shot to win in this league without having a quarterback. And yes, all of these guys are crapshoots. None of these guys are a guaranteed thing. But you know what is a guaranteed thing? You not having a quarterback if you don't get a quarterback in this NFL draft. You've got no shot with Davis Mills. That's been proven. All right? Jacoby Brissett, you know that guy's not going to take you over the top right now. Some of these other veteran options, Baker Mayfield, have we not seen enough from him to know that that guy is not going to lead you to the promised land? You don't have a shot unless you draft a quarterback at the top of the draft. Everyone wants a shot. Even those people.
What if they get a quarterback at 12, though, BK, in this scenario? Because what if they just simply don't deem one of these guys worthy of the number 2 pick in the draft? You need a quarterback to win. I think they know that. But what if they're like, we're going to take a great player at 2? We feel confident we'll be able to get our quarterback at 12.
Look, I prefer them to take a quarterback at 2. They absolutely have to take one on the first day of the NFL draft. I think they've got a much better chance of getting the best guy and obviously also getting the guy that they want if they take him at number 2. Like, I don't want to mess around with that position. Go get the guy that you want right there. But taking a quarterback at 12 is better than not taking a quarterback at all in the first round of the draft. I want it to be at 2. It should be at 2. It makes all the sense in the world to take one at 2. But you cannot leave night 1 of the NFL draft without a quarterback. Whether it's at 1, if you trade up, whether it's at 2, whether it's somewhere, whatever. You have to take a quarterback in the first round of the draft this year.
You'll have a hard time selling to me that your franchise is better off with Will Anderson and Will Levis / Anthony Richardson versus Bryce Young / CJ Stroud at 2 and whatever else you could get at 12. You just have a hard time selling me that the team is going to be in a better overall spot if you go that route. And what you brought to the table, Jake, yes, if they get a guy at 12, they leave the first round with a quarterback. That is an absolute must. It is so risky for that to be the plan. Like, for the plan to be at 12 we're drafting a quarterback when you've got multiple teams in front of you that we have heard or associated with the chance of drafting a quarterback. Like, we talked a couple weeks ago about the Titans trading up from 11 to 1 to get a quarterback. Like, that's a possible quarterback spot. The Raiders are a possible quarterback spot. The Falcons are a possible quarterback spot. Like, there are teams in front of you in the draft that are possible quarterback spots. Not to mention, if you're sitting there at 12 and a quarterback starts to fall, there are teams behind you that could jump in front of you and get a quarterback as well. Like, yes, if you finish up with a defensive player at 2 and a quarterback, you got lucky. And you got a quarterback on day 1, and that's the ultimate charge for this organization when it comes to day 1 of the NFL draft. But you got real lucky because there's a lot of QB-needy teams in front of you.
Don't bank on that.
That's a hope. That's not a plan. That's hope.
It just seems like they're not dead set on a quarterback. Because if they were, Nick Caserio could have easily had the Texans lose that last game and guaranteed themselves the number 1 pick in the draft. He was okay with whatever happened.
Screwed that one up.
He definitely did.
Can't change the past. So you still have to operate like you want to win in the future. And the way you do that is by getting a quarterback.
The way you do that is by giving Davis Mills another chance to prove he's
Shut
the
up.
guy.
If you're not in love with one of these top 2 quarterbacks, you got 73 days to fall in love. So 73 days to fall in love.